I'm Manveen Rana here in Davos, and I'm joined now by Sharon from BCG. Thanks very much for being here.
It's great to be here with you.
You work very closely with CEOs across North America. What are you hearing from them at Davos this year?
It's interesting. So this year, as compared to last year, there's actually more of a mood of optimism, which makes sense. If you look at the jobs data, if you look at interest rates and the predictions of the Fed that the rates will come further down, and if you look at the continued spending of the consumer, I think there's a lot of reason for optimism. And so that is, for me, one of the strongest sentiments that's coming across here.
That's really reassuring. You don't often hear that out loud. But in terms of the challenges too, because it is a difficult year for across geopolitics, really. What are North American CEOs most worried about?
Well, I think like all CEOs, North American CEOs are worried about the geopolitics and how it will play out. I mean, there are meaningful elections in many countries across the world, many large countries across the world, including the United States, as you well know. And how those elections play out will affect, international relations. It will affect trade. It will affect a lot of different things that are quite pertinent to business. And so that's a reason to to be a little bit more conservative. I think the other thing in terms of wariness, there's both the excitement and almost frenzy around AI, but also a tugging wariness, which is how do I get a return on it? Because AI is amazing, and the curve in terms of adoption has never been seen before, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so that is also a reason for a little bit, go slow to go fast.
And given those sort of challenges and risks, as well as the opportunities there, what sort of advice are you giving them?
Well, I think what's really important is to have scenario planning. So really thinking about different scenarios, of course, of the economy, but also in terms of geopolitics and what your actions might be under various scenarios. I think the other thing is every company, if they haven't gotten fit and addressed some of the excess costs they put on during and immediately after the pandemic, really need to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a dynamic environment. And I think the level of investments in places like AI are going to be, in some sense, unparalleled. So they really need to get fit in terms of their core business in order to make those investments. And then finally, on AI, it's exciting. I mean, there's an enormous amount of experimentation that's going on. I think pretty quickly, though, companies have to get to a realistic stamp. Where will they create competitive advantage and value in their business? And there's a race to do that. So I think companies need to be mindful of the pace at which they're experimenting and have some sense of delivery and focus so that they can capitalize on their investment.
Well, that's excellent advice. Thanks very much for joining us here and sharing all of that. I hope you enjoy the rest of your conversations.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you.
Thanks, Sharon.